Welcome to US Coins World. What if I told you that some of the rarest and most valuable US coins might be hiding right under your nose? Today, we're uncovering incredible treasures, coins so rare, they could make you a fortune overnight. Ready to discover hidden history and cash in on some amazing finds? Let's dive in. Top 1. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most intriguing pieces from the United States State Quarter series, the Maryland State Quarter from the year 2000. At first glance, it might look like just another quarter that you've probably seen in your change, but if you stick with me until the end of this video, you will discover why certain Maryland quarters are worth an unbelievable amount of money. Before we get into the rarity and the value, let's start with the background. The State Quarters program was launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999 and continued until 2008. The purpose was to honor each of the 50 states with a unique quarter design that celebrated the culture, history, and symbols of that state. These coins quickly became some of the most collected modern coins in America, sparking interest not only from seasoned collectors but also from everyday people who enjoyed finding the new designs in their pocket change. Maryland was the 7th state quarter released, and it entered circulation in the year 2000. Known as the Bold Line State, Maryland carries a proud history dating back to the Revolutionary War. The nickname was given to honor the Maryland Line, the brave soldiers who fought with determination during America's battle for independence. This rich history is reflected in the design of the Maryland State Quarter. On the obverse side, like all quarters in the series, you see the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with inscriptions such as United States of America, Liberty, and In God We Trust. But it's the reverse side of the Maryland quarter that truly sets it apart. The design features the historic Maryland State House dome, the oldest state capitol still in continuous use today. Surrounding the dome are white oak branches, symbolizing the state tree of Maryland. At the bottom, the words, "The Old Line State," remind everyone of Maryland's proud heritage. This design is elegant, patriotic, and deeply meaningful to Maryland's identity. But what makes this coin so interesting to collectors is not just the design, but its condition and the potential errors that make some examples worth far more than their face value. Millions of Maryland quarters were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, and while most of them entered circulation, some special conditions and rare varieties have made certain pieces extremely valuable. Let's talk about rarity. When we say rare, we don't always mean low mintage. The Maryland State Quarter was produced in large numbers, but rarity in the coin world often comes from condition and errors. For instance, coins that were struck in pristine, uncirculated condition and kept safe from scratches, wear, and circulation can become highly desirable. Collectors look for coins that have sharp details, brilliant luster, and no signs of damage. Such coins, especially if graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch thousands of dollars. Even more fascinating are the error coins. Error coins are like hidden treasures because they are the result of mistakes made during the minting process. These errors can range from simple to dramatic, and in the case of the Maryland quarter, certain types of errors have turned this everyday coin into a highly sought-after collector's item. Some known errors include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't properly aligned during striking. Others include double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled, giving the coin a unique and noticeable appearance. There are also examples of Maryland quarters struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was accidentally struck on a piece of metal meant for another denomination. Each of these error types is extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium to own one. Now, let's consider why collectors are so drawn to these coins. Beyond the historical significance and the unique design, it's the idea of rarity that drives value. A Maryland State Quarter with a rare minting error, in top condition, is like a one-of-a-kind piece of history. Owning such a coin means holding something that very few people in the world will ever have. This exclusivity is what transforms an ordinary 25-cent coin into a true treasure. Think about it for a moment. You could have a Maryland quarter sitting in a coin jar at home, and without realizing it, it might actually be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. That is why coin hunting has become such a fascinating and rewarding hobby for so many people. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, history, and the excitement of finding something extraordinary hidden in plain sight. but now comes the most exciting part of this video, the value reveal. While most Maryland state quarters are only worth face value, and some in mint condition may be worth a few dollars, the rarest examples, those with dramatic mint errors, preserved in flawless condition, can reach jaw-dropping prices at auctions. And here's the incredible fact: one of these special Maryland 2000 state quarters has been valued at as much as $89,000, yes, you heard that right, $89,000 for a single quarter. Imagine pulling a coin like that out of your pocket change. It just goes to show the incredible surprises that can be hidden in everyday coins, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. So, the next time you come across a Maryland state quarter from the year 2000, take a careful look. Check its condition, study the details, and look for any unusual errors. Who knows, you might just be holding on to a small fortune without even realizing it. That wraps up today's video, coin enthusiasts. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the Maryland state quarter and the fascinating stories that make it such a valuable treasure. Top 2, we're going to explore a very special modern coin, the United States of America Homestead State Quarter from the year 2015. At first glance, it may just look like another quarter you'd use to buy a snack or put in a vending machine, but believe me, this coin carries a fascinating story, and in rare cases, it can be worth a life-changing amount of money. Stay tuned until the very end of this video, because I'm going to reveal just how much one of these coins has sold for. It's a number that will shock you. Now let's begin with the background. The Homestead Quarter was issued as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021. This program was created to honor national parks, historic sites, and landmarks across the United States. Each year, a few states were chosen, and their significant heritage or natural beauty was highlighted on the reverse of a quarter. The Homestead National Monument of America, located in Nebraska, was selected in 2015 as one of these designs. Homestead National Monument represents one of the most transformative chapters in American history, the Homestead Act of 1862. This law granted land to settlers willing to build homes, farm the land, and establish roots. It opened the door for westward expansion and shaped the growth of the United States. The monument stands as a tribute to the hard-working families who turned untamed land into thriving communities. By honoring Homestead on a quarter, the U.S. Mint celebrated not just Nebraska's history, but a story that touches the entire nation. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and slightly modernized by the Mint for this series. Around the portrait are the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the coin's denomination, $quarter. But the reverse side is where the beauty lies. The Homestead Quarter features a striking image of a log cabin with water flowing from two pumps on either side, representing the life-giving resource of water that was essential to settlers. In front of the cabin is a shield, a symbol of protection, with 30 stars above it to honor Nebraska's status as the 37th state. The details of this design symbolize security, survival, and the pioneering spirit that defined the Homestead era. It's a coin that tells a powerful story of American determination. Now, let's talk about what makes the Homestead Quarter from 2015 so interesting to collectors. While millions were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, not all coins are created equal. For most people, this quarter is worth only 25 cents, but for collectors, certain conditions and rare errors can make this coin incredibly valuable. Condition is key. Coins that were never used in circulation, often called uncirculated or mint state coins, are far more desirable than those that have been handled, scratched, or worn down. A pristine Homestead Quarter with sharp details and a brilliant shine can already bring in a higher value when graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. But the real treasure lies in the error coins. The Homestead Quarter is famous for having a variety of minting errors that collectors absolutely love. One of the most popular is called the snow on the roof error, where extra metal appears above the roof of the cabin, making it look like snow has piled up. Another highly sought-after error is the leaky bucket variety, where die chips make it look like water is spilling from one of the pumps. Some coins even show doubling on certain features, known as a double die error, which can make words or images appear slightly duplicated. These errors happen during the minting process, and while the US Mint does its best to avoid mistakes, a few slip through. Because of that, error coins are extremely rare, and each one is unique. Collectors are willing to pay serious money for them because they combine history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something few others will ever have. Another factor that increases the value is the coin's grade. A regular homestead quarter in circulation might not be worth more than face value, but a mint error coin in a high grade, such as MS-67 or MS-68, becomes a completely different story. Add in the fact that these errors are fun to identify, and you can see why the homestead quarter has become a favorite among collectors. Think about it, you could have one of these quarters sitting in your coin jar, and if it has the right error, it could change your life. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's like a treasure hunt where the prize is hidden in plain sight. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than the metal it's stamped on. And now, the part you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most homestead quarters are just worth face value, and some error coins can sell for a few hundred or a few $1,000s, the rarest examples, with dramatic errors and preserved in pristine condition, have been known to sell for an astonishing amount. In fact, one such homestead quarter has been valued as high as $86,000, yes, you heard that right, $86,000 for a single quarter that was minted in 2015. It's absolutely incredible to think that a coin you might find in everyday change could be worth that much. That's why it's so important to look closely at your coins, especially modern quarters, because treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered. So, the next time you see a 2015 homestead quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, check for errors, and examine its condition. Who knows, you might be holding onto something that could be worth a small fortune. That wraps up today's video, my friends. I hope you enjoyed learning about the homestead quarter, its history, its unique errors, and the unbelievable value it can hold. Top 3. We are going to travel back to the very beginning of one of the most beloved coin programs in American history, the State Quarter series. And our spotlight is on the very first coin of that series, the Delaware State Quarter, released in 1999. At first glance, this coin might look like just another 25-cent piece you could spend anywhere, but collectors know that hidden among these coins are treasures that can be worth a staggering amount of money. So stick with me until the very end of this video, because I'm going to reveal just how valuable a rare Delaware quarter can be. Let's begin with a little background. The State Quarters program, launched by the United States Mint in 1999, was designed to honor all 50 states with unique coin designs. Every year, a few states were chosen in the order they entered the Union, and their quarters were released into circulation. Delaware was the very first state to ratify the Constitution back in 1787, so it had the honor of being the first coin issued in this series. That alone makes it special. On the obverse side, you see the classic image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and used on quarters since 1932, slightly updated for the series. But the reverse side is where the Delaware quarter truly shines. It features Caesar Rodney, a Revolutionary War hero, riding on horseback. Rodney is remembered for his dramatic overnight ride in 1776 from Delaware to Philadelphia to cast his crucial vote for independence. Without his vote, Delaware might not have supported the Declaration of Independence, and history could have turned out very differently. This coin captures not just a man on a horse, but a moment that defined America's freedom. The design is powerful, patriotic, and full of symbolism. At the top, you'll find the state's name, Delaware, along with the year 1999. Beneath the horse and rider are the words, "The First State," reminding everyone of Delaware's proud place in American history. The artistry of this coin made it a collector favorite right from the start, but what makes this coin worth far more than face value is not simply the design, it's the combination of rarity, condition, and mint errors. Let's break this down. First, condition. When the Delaware quarter was released, millions were put into circulation, and people used them daily for purchases. That means most of these coins today show scratches, wear, and dull surfaces. However, coins that were never circulated, called mint state or uncirculated coins, are much harder to find. Collectors prize coins in high grades, MS-67, MS-68, or even higher, because they show sharp detail, brilliant luster, and no signs of handling. Such coins already sell for significant premiums compared to average ones. Second, rarity in the form of errors. This is where things get truly exciting. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong in the production process. Some Delaware quarters are known to have striking issues, doubling errors, and even off-center strikes. Doubling, also called a double die error, can make words or parts of the design appear doubled, giving the coin a unique and unmistakable look. There are also examples of coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning a Delaware quarter struck on a piece of metal intended for a dime or a nickel. These rare varieties instantly capture the attention of collectors because they are one-of-a-kind mistakes. There is one error in particular that has become legendary among coin enthusiasts. It is the so-called spitting horse variety. This error shows a die crack that extends from the horse's mouth, making it appear as though the horse is spitting. While it might sound funny, collectors take these errors very seriously, and this variety has become one of the most popular collectible coins from the entire state quarters program. Depending on its grade and visibility of the error, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Think about that for a moment. A coin that started its life as just a quarter in someone's pocket could now be worth more than 100 times its face value because of a small imperfection. That's the magic of coin collecting. Errors make each coin unique, and uniqueness is what drives rarity and value. Third, the appeal of history. The Delaware quarter doesn't just honor a state, it honors the very beginning of America's journey to independence and democracy. It is the first coin of a program that brought millions of new collectors into the hobby. That gives it a special place in history and in the hearts of collectors. So, what does all of this mean for the value of a Delaware quarter? For the average circulated coin, the value is still just 25 cents. But if you have a mint state coin, or better yet, an error coin in high grade, the value skyrockets. Some of these coins have sold at auctions for jaw-dropping amounts, making them true treasures in the world of numismatics. And now, the part you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most Delaware quarters are worth only face value, the rarest examples with dramatic errors, preserved in pristine, high-grade condition, have been valued as much as $84,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $84,000 for a single Delaware quarter from 1999. It is almost unbelievable that such a small coin could hold such extraordinary value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, treasures are hiding right in your pocket change, waiting to be discovered. So, the next time you come across a Delaware quarter, don't just spend it. Take a closer look. Check for the spitting horse variety, look for doubling, examine its condition. Because you never know, you might just be holding a coin that could change your life. That wraps up today's video, my friends. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Delaware State Quarter and the amazing stories and values behind it. Top 4. We are diving into one of the most eye-catching and fascinating coins from the United States State Quarters program, the Nebraska State Quarter from the year 2006. At first glance, this coin might look like just another piece of pocket change, but collectors know better. Hidden among these quarters are rare treasures that have sold for unbelievable amounts of money. So make sure you listen very carefully until the very end, because I'm going to reveal how much one of these Nebraska quarters has been valued at, and the number will surprise you. Let's start with the background. The United States Mint launched the State Quarters program in 1999, and it continued until 2008. Each coin honored one of the 50 states with a unique design on the reverse. Nebraska was the 37th state admitted to the Union in 1867, and in 2006, it received its turn to shine in this iconic coin series. This program was not only one of the most successful in U.S. mint history, but it also introduced millions of new people to the world of coin collecting. The Nebraska quarter is a beauty. On the obverse side, you have the traditional portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and slightly modernized for the series. But it is the reverse design that makes this coin truly special. It features a scene that represents the spirit of exploration and the pioneering history of Nebraska, the famous Chimney Rock with a covered wagon in the foreground. Chimney Rock was one of the most iconic landmarks on the Oregon Trail, serving as a guiding symbol for thousands of pioneers traveling west in the 1800s. Above the scene, a radiant sun shines brightly, symbolizing hope, new beginnings, and the enduring spirit of adventure. Beneath the design are the words, Chimney Rock, 1867, and 2006, reminding us of Nebraska's proud place in American history. This design is more than just artistic, it's a celebration of the determination and resilience of those who helped shape the United States. It captures both the struggle and the triumph of westward expansion, making it a favorite among collectors. But what makes this coin so valuable today? Let's talk about rarity, condition, and errors. First, rarity and condition. Millions of Nebraska quarters were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. The vast majority went straight into circulation, meaning people spent them, tossed them into drawers, and handled them daily. As a result, most surviving Nebraska quarters show scratches, wear, and damage. However, coins that were never used, uncirculated examples that remain in pristine condition, are far more desirable. When graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, Nebraska quarters in high mint state grades such as MS 67 or MS 68 can already be worth significant money. Second, mint errors. This is where things get really exciting. The Nebraska quarter is famous for having certain varieties and striking errors that collectors absolutely love. Some error coins show doubling in the design, known as a double die. This can create a ghostly second image of letters, numbers, or design details. Other Nebraska quarters are known with off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, leaving blank space on the coin. Even more dramatic are coins struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a Nebraska quarter mistakenly struck on a nickel or dime-sized metal blank. These unusual coins are extremely rare, and because each one is unique, collectors pay high premiums for them. Another error variety that attracts attention involves die cracks, where a small break in the die leaves raised lines or shapes on the coin's surface. Some collectors even nickname these varieties, giving them a personality and making them even more popular. Every time an error like this shows up, it transforms a normal quarter into a valuable treasure. Third, the appeal of the story. The Nebraska quarter doesn't just celebrate a state, it honors the courage of pioneers, the symbol of Chimney Rock, and the adventurous spirit of America. Because it's part of the legendary state quarters program, it already has built-in collector demand. Add in the fact that Nebraska's design is considered one of the most beautiful and meaningful of the entire series, and you can see why collectors chase after the best examples. Think about it, an ordinary Nebraska quarter in your pocket is worth 25 cents, but the rarest examples, with unique errors and perfect preservation, are worth thousands of times more. That's what makes coin hunting so thrilling. It's like holding a little piece of history in your hand, with the chance that it could also be a hidden fortune. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most Nebraska state quarters are worth just their face value, and some pristine uncirculated examples might be worth a few $100s, the rarest error coins in the highest grades have sold for staggering prices. In fact, one Nebraska quarter has been valued at as much as $81,000, yes, you heard that right, $81,000 for a single state quarter from 2006. It's almost hard to believe, but that's the reality of the coin collecting world. Rare errors, flawless condition, and strong collector demand can turn an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So, the next time you see a Nebraska quarter in your change, don't overlook it. Take a close look at the details. Check for doubling, misalignments, or unusual features. And if the coin looks especially sharp and uncirculated, you might be holding something very special. That brings us to the end of today's video, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the Nebraska state quarter from 2006. It's not just a coin, it's a story of history, exploration, and the thrill of discovery. Top 5. We are going to explore a coin from the America the Beautiful Quarters program that stands out for its unique design and historical significance, the Effigy Mounds quarter from 2017. While it may seem like just another 25-cent piece you might find in your pocket, some of these coins have shocked collectors with their rarity and incredible value. Stay tuned until the very end of this video, because I will reveal just how much a rare example of this quarter has been valued at, and I promise, the number will amaze you. Let's begin with the background. The America the Beautiful Quarters program ran from 2010 to 2021, following the successful state quarters program. Instead of focusing on states, this new program honored national parks, historic sites, and landmarks from across the United States. In 2017, one of the featured sites was Effigy Mounds National Monument, located in the state of Iowa. This monument preserves more than 200 prehistoric mounds built by Native American cultures, many of them in the shapes of animals like bears and birds. These sacred sites are thousands of years old and hold deep cultural and spiritual meaning. By placing effigy mounds on a quarter, the United States Mint paid tribute not only to the artistry of ancient mound builders but also to the cultural heritage of Native American history. On the obverse side of the quarter, you see the classic portrait of George Washington, just like every coin in the series. Around the portrait are the words, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. But it is the reverse design that makes this coin truly special. The Effigy Mounds quarter shows an overhead view of several mounds shaped like animals. You can clearly see bear-shaped effigies stretching across the landscape. This design captures the sacred and mysterious beauty of the monument, a place where history, culture, and nature come together. The symbolism of this coin is powerful. It reminds us that coins are not just money, they are pieces of art that carry stories about who we are, where we came from, and what we value. For collectors, this makes the Effigy Mounds quarter more than just currency. It is a symbol of heritage, culture, and ancient history preserved in metal form. Now, let's talk about what makes this quarter valuable. Millions of Effigy Mounds quarters were minted in 2017 at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of them entered circulation and were used in everyday transactions. These coins, of course, are only worth their face value. But collectors look for two very important factors, condition and rarity. First, condition. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition are highly prized. These coins have no scratches, no signs of wear, and still shine as if they just left the mint. When graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, high-grade Effigy Mounds quarters, especially those graded MS 67, MS 68, or even higher, become significantly more valuable. Collectors are always on the hunt for top-quality examples. Second, rarity through mint errors. This is where the Effigy Mounds quarter becomes extremely interesting. Some coins have left the mint with striking errors that make them one-of-a-kind treasures. Known varieties include double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled, creating a ghost-like second image. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is shifted and part of the coin appears blank. Even more rare are coins struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine an Effigy Mounds quarter struck on a dime or nickel blank. Each of these errors is rare and unique, and collectors are willing to pay thousands for them. Another popular error among collectors is die chips or cracks, where extra metal appears on the coin in places it doesn't belong. Sometimes these small errors create amusing or unusual shapes, making them even more desirable because they stand out from normal coins. The fun of searching for these errors is what makes modern quarters like the Effigy Mounds so exciting to collectors. Let's not forget the historical appeal. The Effigy Mounds quarter tells a story of Native American heritage and artistry that goes back more than 1,000 years. For collectors, this adds another layer of value, because owning this coin is like owning a tiny piece of preserved history. It connects the modern world to ancient cultures, and that cultural connection makes the coin even more desirable. Think about it, you could easily have an Effigy Mounds quarter sitting in a jar at home or in your wallet right now. At first glance, it's worth only 25 cents. But if it has the right error or is preserved in flawless condition, that same coin could be worth an incredible amount of money. That's the magic of coin collecting. The thrill of discovering something extraordinary in the most ordinary of places is what keeps collectors searching and treasure hunting every day. And now, the part you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most Effigy Mounds quarters are worth only face value, and some high-grade examples might sell for a few hundred or even a few $1,000s, the rarest of them, those with dramatic errors in pristine condition, have reached unbelievable prices at auction. In fact, one of these rare Effigy Mounds quarters has been valued at as much as $78,000, yes, you heard that right, $78,000 for a single quarter from 2017. It's almost hard to believe, but that's the beauty of coins. Something so small and ordinary can turn out to be a priceless treasure. So, the next time you come across an effigy mounds quarter, don't just spend it without looking. Take a close look at the details, examine it for errors, and check its condition. You never know, you might be holding on to a piece of history that could also be worth a fortune. That brings us to the end of today's video, my friends. I hope you enjoyed learning about the effigy mounds quarter from 2017, its design, its cultural significance, and the incredible value it can hold. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss our next treasure hunt into the world of coins. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, happy collecting.